Are you bored of your survival Minecraft world? And maybe my previous 14 ideas simply weren't enough for you? Well, you guys asked and okay, no one asked, but I'm back with another 30 plus ideas this time. All of these builds are from my Instagram, so feel free to check out those posts, links in the description. Most of these are also available to download over on my Patreon, so go check that out if that interests you. Alright, let's get into the first showcase. Alright, so the first build we'll be taking a look at is the Cove Dock, which for some reason people thought was called Dovecock. I'm not really sure why. We're also not going to question the fact that the back of this build isn't finished whatsoever. All that matters is the front, okay? So yeah, this build pretty much consists of a nice kind of cove area of water, and we have a dock that actually surrounds like around half of it. And I should also mention as well that this build is actually based off of well, not a real image, but an actual image of like a 3D render or something like that. So feel free to use that and my build as well to create your own thing, or you can just rebuild this. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, so on the left here, we have a nice medieval themed lighthouse. And then on the right side, we of course have our dock that goes all the way around. We also have a staircase here that leads up to this nice building. And we've got a bunch of greenery around the place as well, a couple little decorations. And yeah, I feel like this would just be a really nice build for a survival world. It's just a nice place to fish and also park up your boat whenever you need to. Now, I'm not really allowed to mention these ones on YouTube as I might get in trouble. So if you want these next 4 designs to make sense, then I'd recommend going to the description and clicking on the Legal Farms one. But you probably get what I'm hinting at. So I'm just going to use some technical terms to describe these ones, okay? So this first farm is a poppy farm, and you might know what poppies make, but yeah. And so yeah, this one consists of a bunch of rows of poppies with a nice kind of pathway that leads all the way to the back here as well through each different section. And then at the back we have a bunch of nice storage blocks. We've got a really cool wheelbarrow design as well, using a grindstone, a composter, and also an open spruce fence gate. We've got a couple of them sprinkled around the place, and I really love the way this looks. This is like such an awesome design.
Hey champ, that's really interesting. Next time, keep it to yourself.
Now onto the next one behind it. This one is Coca Farm, which that is the first half of the word for the illegal substance that this makes.
Well, you've had a stroke.
But yeah, so for all of these, I pretty much use reference images. So forgive me if this looks kind of weird, but you can just search what the farm looks like and understand kind of what I was going for. But yeah, they also have like a building here where they put all of the harvested stuff in here and they kind of mash it together, which is what these piles are supposed to be. And then we also have a bunch of storage blocks back here as well. For the next farm, we have like an indoor hydroponic farm. If you have the picture open, you'll know what this is supposed to be. You might even be able to tell what this is, but yeah, I'm just not taking any chances, okay? We've also got a really cool kind of like design on the back here with a couple of shelves with some like supposed to be baby plants. This one hanging by a chain, which looks really cool in my opinion. We've also got this kind of like electrical box. I don't really know. Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this hydroponic farm. For the final illegal farm, we have what is supposed to be the inside of an RV. As you can see, it's just kind of a box. But yeah, this is the place in that one famous show, Breaking Bad, and kind of tried to just emulate that. We've got like a desk over here, some storage over here, and then the area where the substance is created. This could, of course, just be a fun little build to create in your survival world if you wanted to show your friends or something like that. And yeah. Next up, we're taking a look at 4 different biome-specific bridges. So you have one for pretty much any different biome that you're going to live in. The first one that we're taking a look at is the forest biome bridge. As you can see, this one consists of a lot of oak leaves around the place. We've got them in the walls and also in the roof. And yeah, this bridge is really easily extendable. So if you have a shorter or longer area, all you really have to do is just pretty much take this chunk of the bridge here and then just keep extending it or shrinking it as much as you need. And yeah, just walking through this, it really feels like you're in like a fantasy kind of land. I don't know. I really love the way that the roof of this bridge looks with all of the leaves. It just looks so lush and nice walking through this. Next, taking a look at the desert biome bridge. As you can see, this one's a lot taller than the forest biome one. And of course, you can make this as tall as you want. Just shrink the legs as far as you want to go. And as you can see, we've also got some nice jungle wood accents on our entire actual sandstone bridge. And I feel like the jungle wood matches the desert kind of vibe really well, as it's like a kind of a washed out color. And I feel like it just suits the sandstone and desert vibe pretty well. Next, onto the jungle biome bridge. And as you can see, this one's kind of like a rope or like suspension bridge. On both of the sides here, we have some kind of cool looking tiki torches on top of some jungle wood. And then that of course leads into our bridge that dips down in this river area. And we've also got some nice lush leaves under it as well. I'm not sure why this one's floating. And this one definitely really fits the jungle aesthetic in my opinion. So yeah. And now for the final bridge, we have the Spruce Biome Bridge. We've got 3 nice little archways, 2 of them being smaller, and then the central one big enough to get a boat underneath, which is a really nice feature as well. As you can see in the water, we actually have some moss stone blocks all around the place, which is a nice little detail that I like to add into my builds that are kind of touching the water, as if the water has been like eroding these blocks, I guess. We've also got a bunch of nice little wooden accents around the sides, and also the pathway as well is made of wood to give a nice kind of contrasting look. And we've also got some textured stone throughout this as well, not too much, as it keeps it nice and interesting looking. And yeah, so that's it for all of the biome bridges. Next up, we're taking a look at a few different entrance designs, the first one being the copper entrance. And for this one, I decided to go with a kind of vault door look. I'm not really sure how else to describe it. And now for this to actually be an entrance, all you'd have to do is make like a kind of hidden piston door thing. You can make it down here, or you can make it on the side as well, and just kind of use those 2 blocks to get inside. Obviously, this is meant to be more kind of like an aesthetically pleasing thing, and for it to actually function, you just have to, yeah, use the pistons like I just said. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the copper entrance. Next up, we have the iron entrance. Again, this one is in a kind of vault door fashion. And yeah, for this one to be actually used as an entrance, similar to the first one, we're gonna have to probably use some pistons in here to just remove these 2 blocks and like pull them back to the side or something like that. And then we've also got some nice texture around the place as well, just to keep it more interesting looking. Next, we have the natural entrance design, and this is probably the favorite out of everyone's choice from my Instagram stories. Yeah, this one's also a lot more functional compared to the other ones. We can actually just walk in here, and towards the back area, you can just have this lead to whatever the hell you wanted. But yeah, this one's also really nice and lush looking. We've got some glowberries around the place to keep it nice and bright, and a whole bunch of just nature stuff going on. It looks really nice in my opinion. And for the final entrance, we have the spruce entrance. Very creative name, I know, but yeah, it's pretty much meant to look like a kind of cave entrance, and we've just sealed it up with a bunch of spruce trapdoors and some regular doors as well, of course, to actually enter. And yeah, you could really have this lead into anything. You could have it lead into a base. You could even open up a few of these trapdoors and have maybe some spruce fence gates under them that are open. Actually, this was supposed to be up here, and then spruce fence gates like this, and it looks like a nice little window as well, and you could have this lead into your base. Next up, we have 4 different beach build designs. This first one being an actual beach, and then also a pier over here as well. So we have obviously the pier itself, which is just a pretty simple design. And then for the actual beach itself, we have a nice pathway that goes through it out of just some coarse dirt and grass. We've got a bunch of big palm trees around the place as well, and some bushes. We've also got this nice grass design throughout the sand. I really love the way this looks in beaches. For the next build, we actually have a shallow reef design. As you can see, it's pretty similar to the previous beach, except we've done more details into the water. We've added a bunch of coral around the place, some stones as well. And then for the actual beach itself, we've got some grass on top of the sand. You can only do this with World Edit, unfortunately, so you'll have to put grass blocks underneath it, which still doesn't look too bad. And then we've got a really dense kind of forest behind it, which really makes the beach kind of stand out and look really cool in my opinion. And yeah, so this build is actually 2 in 1. So this one as well is a shallow shipwreck, which is another really cool way to kind of spruce up your beaches and make them look more interesting. And yeah, it just kind of gives your beach like a nice story to it, and yeah. For the final beach idea, we have yet another pier, except this one's kind of turned into a trader. This one is heavily inspired by the game Sea of Thieves. So yeah, like I said, this one is a pier. We've also got a bunch of docking places for your boat as well, and then it comes up to a little step up over here to a trading platform. Next up, to go along with our beach ideas, we now have 4 pirate ideas, and the first one being a pirate cove. So this one is pretty much just a giant hollowed out mountain on the side of an ocean here, and it just kind of leads into this nice cave area. And then this all leads into a bridge back here as well, which could lead really to anything. This could lead to a mine entrance, or it could lead to your base. And then to the right of the bridge as well, we have a big drop down with a nice waterfall to the right of it too. Next up, we have a pirate island. This is the first one that actually didn't make the cut. I will show you the second island that I went with. But this would be a really cool way to decorate an island that you might be living at, or maybe that is really close to your base or something like that. So we've got a nice little campsite here with a campfire going. And then we have a pathway as well that leads up here to a couple more barrels, and also a little pirate flag as well. So here's the actual island that made the post. This one has a really interesting shape to it. It's kind of like a fish or something like that. I don't really know. As you can see, we have the same kind of dug up treasure design here with a shovel, and we've got the same campsite and a bunch of palm trees around the place as well. Now for the final pirate themed idea, we actually have a pirate ship. Now this one is pretty much exactly the same as the one in the post, except this is the one that I actually made a tutorial for recently. So if you wanted to rebuild this for yourself nice and easily, then feel free to check out the video for this. Next up, we have a couple of mini medieval builds. So these ones are just really small versions versions of some medieval things, the first one being a tower. And as you can see, this thing is pretty small. I don't really know what else you'd kind of use this for except for like some base defense, or you could put this like as the design as a tower in like a kind of castle base as well. A nice little touch is you could actually add a flag to this as well. For the next one, we actually have a bonus mini medieval design, one that didn't make the post, and this one is meant to be kind of like a storage area. So we've got a bunch of andesite, stone, and gravel textured path around the place, and obviously a bunch of barrels and chests and just extra decorations on top and around all of this. Next up, we have our mini medieval bridge, and this one just consists of a single arch. Obviously, it's not meant to be used to cover a pretty big area of water, just like a little mini stream like this one. And yeah, we obviously have our pathways that lead to and from it as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the mini medieval bridge. Next up, we have a little bit of a cart design. This one obviously being underneath a roof, so this is kind of where you'd park your cart. But yeah, this one is pretty easy to build. All it is just a couple of slabs. Then we've got some spruce trapdoors at the front, an oak trapdoor on the side in the middle, and then some oak signs beside that, and this kind of looks like a wheel, I guess. For the last mini medieval build, we have just a tiny little house. This is obviously not meant to be lived in. It's mainly meant to be aesthetic. You could even use this as a starter house if you really wanted to. So taking a look around the outside, we actually have a kind of nice little stone trim roof, and then we can head on inside to the interior. As you can see, it's pretty simple. We can't really fit too much in here, so we've got a couple of barrels, a bed, and a crafting table. Next up, we have a Torii Gate design that's been put in a forest with a nice pathway. So as you can see, for the Torii Gate itself, it is a pretty simple build. All it consists of is some stripped acacia wood that leads up into this similar design as the house that we just looked at. It's got some lanterns hanging from that, and then we've also got some prismarine blocks up here. And yeah, so along the path, we've got these nice kind of stone designs and a whole bunch of candles as well, which really gives it like a peaceful kind of vibe. So for these final 4 designs, I'm going to be taking you through a couple of simple wall designs that I've created. Now, obviously, this isn't very big itself, but it's meant to be just repeated, obviously, to like enclose a big area, maybe for a village or anything like that, maybe like a castle or kingdom. So this first one pretty much consists of some stone brick pillars, and then beside that, we've got a nice archway design using some spruce blocks. Something as well that you could do is actually extend these azaleas to cover up the entire area. I feel like that would actually look a lot nicer than the current wall. And something else you could do as well is actually replace this block here with a spruce fence, so you have a nice little window too. For the next simple wall, we have our nether wall, and this one consists of a bunch of deep slate tiles in this kind of configuration to give a more kind of castle or kingdom vibe to it, and also some of the stripped blue wood nether blocks at the back, and also some fence gates as well, the blue wood. I don't really know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to try, but I'm just going to keep calling it blue wood. For the next simple wall, we have our desert themed wall, and this one consists of a bunch of sandstone, obviously, and on the inside we have stripped jungle wood with some signs at the tops and bottom, and on the left and right side we have like these kind of little tower designs, which might look a little bit weird being repeated too often, so you could of course just have these in some like kind of integral areas to your walls, like maybe on the corners or in where the gate is, and then just repeat this wall design across most of the area. You could also shrink this down if this is too high for you as well. I feel like I probably made this one block too high. And now for the final simple wall, we actually have like a Japanese kind of themed wall. For this one, I was lazy and I didn't complete it, but you pretty much just repeat this front half on the back as well. And yeah, so this one just consists of some nice spruce wood pillars. Then we have some smooth quartz blocks on the central areas with a couple of windows. And then in front of these, we also have some tables with some spruce pot plants as well. And of course, this one would obviously look really nice in like kind of a Japanese themed village or something like that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for all of the 30 designs in this video. I have a bunch more builds on my Instagram that I can use for these kind of videos. So if you want to see another 30 more designs in the future, feel free to let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.